Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. We are going to be talking about Paul Leni's Waxworks number 239 in the Masters of Cinema series, and this again is Masters of Cinema educating me on silent film. Of course, I'd never heard of this one before, but after The Man Who Laughs, I was deeply excited about checking out another one of these movies, particularly because I knew this was going to be an anthology movie, and I was wondering how that would be incorporated into a silent film. What we have here is the basic idea of this poet who is hired by a man who has various waxworks to create backstories for these displays. And when he gets there, he discovers that the owner has this charming daughter, Eva, who he is rather attracted to, and decides to create these stories for these wax fixtures, but also bring himself and Eva into the stories as a romantic endeavour to kind of woo the women while also letting out his inner thoughts into his creative output. And we have three basic stories here. We have Emil Jannings as this Sultan of Arabia who is a rather glutton. Everybody falls to his whim. When there's things that he wants, he just takes it. And we have a baker and his wife who are the poet and Eva, who are having a little bit of a romantic relationship. They love each other deeply, but of course the Sultan discovers this beautiful wife and decides that he must have her. And this, the longest of the three stories, we get to see some wonderful set pieces. We get to see some good special effects. We get to see some terrific stunts, particularly in the chase sequence that happens later on. The use of colours is really nice as well. We move from the kind of tinted orange into the darker blues of the nighttime sequences. Some of the German expressionism is really prevalent here and just adds a lot to the movie. And this becomes a really fun tale where you have several things going on that are pretty fun as we, the viewer, know more than some of the main characters, and a really nice reveal and end to this story. A kind of one where almost everybody was happy. Something that very rarely happens in these kind of movies, or in movies in general, where everybody has a win-win situation. Even the people that may not be the most attuned to good behaviour, like the Sultan, still ends up in a kind of happy situation at the end here. In the second story, we have Conrad Veidt, who stars as Ivan the Terrible, a man who is just, well, he loves to see people suffer. He has this room where he watches people, slowly die of poison, pretty much stealing their last hours by being a horrible person to them. And he has this maker of poisons who feels as though his life is on the line and decides to preemptively strike back at Ivan the Terrible by putting his name onto one of the jars, making him believe that he is poisoned. But before we discover that, or the main character discovers that, he is brought to a wedding. We get a lovely transition scene of him riding there while possibly being assassinated as he takes over the wedding, ruining the day where he was to be the guest of honour, and ultimately getting to another really nice finale as well. One that is extremely fitting for this character, to see such a kind of twisted end for this main character was really kind of fun and engaging. And this one has more of a kind of action flair, more of a kind of twisted sensibility, and it was another really strong entry. The final tale that we have here is all about Jack the Ripper. Werner Kress plays that man, and this is a really truncated short story, maybe 8-9 minutes, and it basically involves our poet and Eva being chased through the circus, the fairground, by this haunting figure of Jack the Ripper. It's a rather truncated and shortened story, but it feels like a nice little punchy finale to this tale. And at the end of it, we get our star-crossed couple kind of falling in love. It's really fun and engageful. It's a short movie, which is quite good if you're looking to dip your toe into silent movies. Because it's an anthology, it kind of moves into various different stories and gives you a little taste of what they can do and some of the setups they do. I do particularly like the first story, particularly the moment where the baker is on the run through the palace and he's climbing up onto the peaks of the houses and jumping from there to trees, and it's very interesting and it looks stunning. Particularly the image quality on this transfer is utterly jaw-dropping. It's one of the best transfers I've seen done on a silent movie. It is wonderful looking. The use of light and shadows, the back painted sets in certain scenes just jump off the screen and are really wonderful to see. And this was another really enjoyable silent movie. Like I said, if you're looking for something to kind of dip your toe into these movies, Waxworks is the movie that you should definitely check out, because I think it's really worthwhile. I'd love to know your thoughts on the movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time on ManVFilm.